going on, guys? Here at the tree service. There's a little bit here and there. I see some mulberry kicking around. Is that a piece of sugar maple up there? Yeah, that's sugar maple. They actually got some in, but I don't really see much else. Piece of oak up behind this one here. There's a bunch of oak around here. There's some dry oak as well. Yeah, there's mulberry around here. Okay guys, that was a good haul. There's a whole bunch of this maple here, and it's like practically cut and split, man. It is kind of rotten. Unfortunately, I can't use it for smoker wood, but there's still a lot of density. It's still heavy, even though it's semi-dry. There's still a little bit of moisture in there, but some of these more rotten pieces I left behind. Is this one of them? No, that's a different species. Yeah, see, this one is really rotten, right? That's really bad, that one. While I was putting the tailgate down, I saw Grumpy Dad came out on one of the machines, and he didn't say nothing to me. I got here just after 1, and he's like, oh, you gotta come in the morning. Well, it's none of his business anyway, right? And time to go to the Woodyard, dump it off. Alright, there it is. You can see there's a bunch of wood that just needs a cut with the chainsaw, and then maybe one split. Some of them are wide. This one just knock off an end. Bunch of them almost ready to go. Here's some that just got a split. On my way up here, I called a customer who wants the firewood bags for his convenience store. So I told him I'll be there in an hour. He said, okay, yeah, he just go and ready up the shelf outside, and I'm gonna load them up. So I'm gonna do the garbage here as well. I'm load up the bags and then go for the delivery. Okay guys, got them all loaded up. 15 bags. Also the garbage in the front, and then some cutoffs for my landlord. He likes to burn wood in his fireplace in that old house. Did I ever show you guys the old house? And that's what this property is, basically. A house and then this big acreage in the back. Let me show you what I got going on here. So, to dry this sugar maple a little quicker, I'm cheating and I'm using this fan. I'm gonna leave this on and I'm gonna be back in a couple hours. Anyone know what this stuff is? Well, if you don't know, it's Eastern redbud, and it grows more like a plant. It does have some thickness, as you can see, but it's something that here in the city people have it in their front lawns and stuff like that, like in the garden area, and where they don't have a garden, they just have, you know, trees and plants and stuff, right? You could just tell it's good hardwood because it's very dense. I mean, even if you look at it, the thing with me in firewood is I can tell firewood or good wood by looking at it. So if there's a species that I've never had before, I can just tell by playing with a piece of it and inspecting it visually, and I'm a pretty good judge of that. This stuff actually splits really well, but it also cuts really quick too. So it's too bad that this can be like a regular firewood species with a lot of high volume within whatever grows. Well, I did pull this out last night. I came here without the camera. I forgot everything in my shop. I kind of rushed out and I did a little bit of a different routine, so I left it at the shop. So I didn't film what I did last night. I cut up basically half of the pile that was here, and there was a whole bunch of this stuff. So I'm happy to have this. You know me, I like my diverse species in each of my selling units, and this makes for some really good diversity. I'd like to know how it actually burns. I mean, like I said, I know it burns good, but the smell and everything, you know, I'm very curious about that stuff. I did keep some for myself. I have my pile of cutoffs for my wood stove back there, so I'm going to test it out one time. But anyways, I'm going to finish up this pile here. I don't think there's any of that stuff in here because I'm pretty sure I pulled it out all last night. So I'll finish up with this sugar maple, oak, spruce, and what else? I finished the mulberry as well. There's no more mulberry in here. finish before the 7 p.m. deadline. When's the last time you guys see me use an axe? Alright guys, all done. Not much else to do. I did bag up some cut-offs over there, so there's not much left. There's a lot of oak I can use for smoker wood. There's even some over there. I should transfer this over to here. We'll see you guys next time. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and all that good stuff.